Hi, this is Les Levine, the self-proclaimed voice of truth and reason in Ohio sports. It took me over 2 months to figure out what I would miss most about the baseball season if there wasn't one: scoreboard watching. The Indians can play every night, then have an off day as they do today, and my baseball fix is still not fixed. Remember 1995, the Tribe clinched their division by over 30 games and they beat the Baltimore Orioles down at Progressive Field. It wasn't enough for me. I wanted to go home, watch some more games, and get some more scores. Daryl Ruiter is here. We'll talk some football. More sports, and Les Levine is on the air. From the worldwide headquarters of More Sports and Les Levine, it's a Thursday night, a brand new week coming to the end as we head into the holiday weekend on Monday. No show on Monday night, but we've got a good one tonight. Daryl Ruiter from 92.3 The Fan is here. We'll talk some football as the Browns finally getting ready to get, along with the rest of the NFL, to get started over the next weekend. Should be exciting. Daryl Ruiter is here. How are you, D-Man? Well,
I'm good, Les. Good to see you.
Guy. Yeah, go ahead, Daryl.
That's okay. A little case of mistaken identity. D-Ride here, D-Man.
Right. When did you become D-Ride and Dangerous Daryl? When did that all happen?
I would probably say about 9 years ago when I started up at the Fan.
Yeah, because I don't remember you having that name beforehand.
Yeah, I think I had some other unsavory nicknames that we'll just forget about in a prior life.
You have to register them at the patent office or anything like that?
No, but I probably should have. That was a big fail on my part.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. Let's back up a couple of days, Daryl. You, of course, cover the Browns and the Indians. So the Indians made a trade the other day. Several people asked me over the last couple of days, what do you think of the trade? I didn't have an answer because it didn't do much for me, because it didn't make them a better team that day or that week, and I'm not sure how it would make them a better team unless they can get Reyes to hit like he's been hitting. Then I think it's a good trade, even though it didn't involve him.
Yeah, I mean, it was the quintessential Cleveland Indians trade, and I think that what has been impressive with the organization is I mean, they just continue to churn out pitching like you can't believe. And they say pitching wins championships, so hopefully there's a championship in the offing sooner rather than later where the Indians are concerned. But I thought it was a trade first that they had to make. The Mike Clevenger situation and what he did in Chicago, the way he lied to his teammates, that bridge got burned pretty bad. So I think it was a trade they had to make to get him out of the clubhouse. He was up for arbitration here pretty soon as well. But I agree with you. I don't think the Indians got better today, Les, but I do think they set themselves up to be better in 2021 and 2022.
I understand what Chris Antonetti said and why he said what he said, but there's no way that trade gets dealt if it wasn't the circumstances that it could be. You don't give up. I don't care how many starting pitchers you have. You don't just give up one like for an even trade. I mean, if you're getting bowled over, that's a different story.
Yeah, no question about it. And I think that this trade was a volume trade for the Indians, just looking at the volume of players that came back. The outfielder that they got, I don't think really that Josh Naylor, I don't think is much of an upgrade over what they currently have on the roster or in the farm system. Quantrell, the right-hander, seems to be, I guess, if you want to call it the centerpiece of the trade. But again, they didn't get better for today, but they got better for the future. And it's one of those typical Indians trades where they take an asset and they flip it into a bunch of these other assets that could help them down the road. And I think that's the delicate balance that they're fighting right now.
Okay, explain to me how that balance happens with just seemingly with the pitching staff, because they got pitchers left and right, and no pun intended. But they haven't turned those assets into position players, and that's been a weakness for a long time. And I'm talking from either whether it's free agency or the regular draft. They don't seem to get them, but they just load up on pitching. And I'm thinking about these GMs of other teams, when they look at the outcome of that and say, wait a minute, this is the same team that gave up Corey Kluber and gave up other people, other top-rated pitchers, and they got more.
Yeah, this is almost the antithesis of the 90s, Les. The 90s, they just, hitter after hitter after hitter. They found a way just to constantly restock their lineup 1 through 9.
Right.
And it led to all those division titles. They got to the World Series a couple of times. They were in the playoffs on an annual basis. And now it's the exact opposite. They have all this pitching. They continue to turn it into more pitching. And to your point, this year's obviously a funny year with the shortened season and whatnot, but they can't seem to find any hitting or any consistent hitting
and
for the lineup.
Then in the pitching, then they add this McKenzie. This kid is unbelievable. Now I know he's not facing the 27 Yankees. I understand that.
Right.
But in this day and age, you don't have to show how good you are by just get out there and throw 5-6 innings. This kid, he doesn't look like he's going to have the strength to be a big league pitcher, but at this point he does. Yeah,
I mean he's been outstanding in his first couple of starts, and watching him, I'm like, where did this guy come from,
right,
and where has he been? Why wasn't he good enough to make the opening day roster, if you will? But yeah, Tristan's been very impressive and fit right in with what the rest of this starting rotation's been able to do. I don't think anyone's complaining about what the starting 5 has been able to give this ball club. It's 1 through 9, and quite frankly, it's not even 1 through 9. It's hitters 5 through 9 that are the most problematic.
And unfortunately, Paul Dolan's legacy, unless something changes drastically here, either in the next couple of months or next year or so, he's always going to be remembered as that guy who got you to the playoffs, but he couldn't win the whole thing. And I keep hearing people say he doesn't really want to win. That's the most absurd thing, the absurd analysis of anything I've ever heard of in the world of sports.
I agree with you 100%. I think that, the people that are calling for the Dolans to sell the team, listen, yes, they haven't won the big one. They haven't won the World Series, but they came close in 2016, should have won it. They let it slip away. And unfortunately, when something like that happens, it takes a franchise a long time to recover. I mean, it took the Indians a long time to recover from 1997. And my argument, my counter argument, Les, is if this is going to be the perception of the Dolan family, good enough to get you to the playoffs but not win the whole thing, well, then what's Dick Jacobs' legacy then? Because those teams didn't win a World Series. They blew a Game 7 in a World Series. They got there twice. They got to the playoffs a bunch of years in a row, but they didn't win it. So I think that the people that are begging for the Dolans to sell the Indians are going to be sorry when that happens.
Well,
I'm telling you.
Be careful what you wish for in a case like that.
Absolutely.
All right, getting ready for Browns football, and it seems like it was such a long time before it came upon us. Now that it's upon us, it's coming pretty quick. Is this team prepared?
I don't think they're ready. Now, Kevin Stefanski will disagree with me vehemently. Andrew Berry will disagree with me vehemently. But I can only go by what I see. And obviously, this week it's not much. We're in and out in about 5 to 10 minutes for practice because it's now closed. But I've seen maybe 20 minutes of full speed football from this team. Maybe we'll see a little more full speed football tomorrow night down at First Energy Stadium, Les. But yeah, I don't think that they're ready. By now, they would have played 3, maybe 4 preseason games, right? We'd be talking about garbage time football in that 4th preseason game and a bunch of undrafted free agents fighting for a last-minute roster spot on the final 53. We're not doing that this year.
No, but they may be doing it live. They may be doing it live. These tryouts could be live for the 5th or 6th week of the season.
Yeah, no question about it. But that's not what you want. Yeah, I mean, the Browns have to hit the ground running. It's only a 16-game season, and it flies once you get going. And we are about, 10 days away from the opener in Baltimore against the Ravens.
I keep hearing the assumption that the coaching staff, the new guys coming in and all that, will automatically make this team better because how bad Freddie and his staff was last year. That's unfair also because you don't know how good Stefanski's going to be. I mean, on paper he looks like he's going to be good, but until the fists start flying here, you're not going to know anything about this guy.
Well, I think that some of the chaos that was taking place under Kitchens during the week, as far as the every week preparation, that's not going to be there. They will be more organized in that regard. So I will agree with that. But as far as the actual results, that this team is going to take a quantum leap from 6-10, I'm not ready to say that. I don't know what to expect. That's why I'm so hesitant to make any prediction on the season whatsoever, Les. But I think that people that believe that this team is just going to walk in and make the playoffs because Kevin Stefanski's the head coach and the coaching staff's been switched out again, and this is Baker's third season, and I think that people might be setting themselves up for disappointment. This is going to be a very difficult season for the Browns, and one in which that I expect them to start slow.
You bring up a good point. If you and I sat here with legal pads on each side, and I say, okay, you have 5 minutes here. On the left side, write all the reasons that they're going to make the playoffs. On the other side, make all the reasons why they will. And I think you're in a dead heat 5 minutes later, right?
Yeah, I think it's a coin flip. Here's my other thing too. Can we get to 500 first before we start talking playoffs? And I'm just talking just from a media perspective. Fans are going to be fans, and they're going to be rooting for the team to make the playoffs. All that's understandable. This franchise hasn't finished 500 since 2007. So let's baby step this thing. You know, a couple years ago, they couldn't win a game, right? Then it got to be, can you win a game on Sunday? Can you win a divisional game? So they checked all these boxes. Can you win a game on the road? And I think that the next step for them as a franchise and an organization is just get back to 500. Get to 8-8. Or if you're in the middle of the season, you get to the 8th win, then let's take it the next step. But for me, I think the next logical step for the Cleveland Browns as an organization, as a franchise, get to 500 first before we start dreaming big.
Well, I used different words to describe that the other night when I said that with the Browns team as it is, let's not think of it in terms of beating Baltimore, then beating whoever, Cincinnati. Take the first 2 games and hope you win one of the 2 without worrying about which team it is and how good you looked. Just find a way to win. But if you lose to Baltimore, don't go looking for cliffs to jump off of.
Yeah, I mean, they got the reigning MVP. They've had Harbaugh there for a decade. The Ravens certainly remember the 40-25 score last September in Baltimore. No question, the Browns are circled on the calendar in that regard, Les. But you're right. One day, one game at a time. Start 0-1's not the end of the world. Start 0-2. If Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals come in here and slap you around at First Energy Stadium on a Thursday night, I'd start to get a little concerned. I really believe that if they can get through these first 6 games, 500 at 3-3, they're set up to make a second half run because they will have gotten their sea legs under them.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that. Daryl Ruiter here, 92.3 The Fan. You can hear him Monday through Friday and Saturday and Sunday if you pay enough attention. Daryl does a great job and has done for the last 8 or 9 years for 92.3 The Fan. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/more sports and less Levine with new content added each and every day. It's real simple. We post a question in the morning. You respond to it all day long, and we read it on the air. Not too bad. 216-575-0403. More sports and less Levine with Daryl Ruiter, powered by cleveland.com.
Presque Isle Downs and Casino has sports betting. Use one of our 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet and watch your favorite games on one of our many HD televisions, or visit our sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downs and Casino.
Do you like Ohio State football? Would you like to get information from me, Doug Lesmerises, about Ohio State football without having to look at my face? We have got the plan for you. Become an Ohio State text subscriber through cleveland.com. You send a text, 614-350-3315. What do you get? 2, 3, 4 texts right in your phone every day about Ohio State football. Inside information, polls, voting, all kinds of things. You can be on our podcast. We take text subscriber questions on our Buckeye Talk podcast every week. If you really want to be involved with Ohio State football, in season or out of season, become an Ohio State text subscriber from cleveland.com. Send a text to 614-350-3315, 14-day free trial. What do you have to lose? $3.99 a month after that. 614-350-3315. I'll see you in your phone.
Tri-C is here for you. Now more than ever, you need a post-secondary education. So I encourage you to start your journey here at Tri-C. The majority of fall classes will take place online, but we've added a variety of formats to meet your learning needs, and we've taken many steps to keep you safe on campus. Whether you're ready to get started or your four-year plans have changed, Tri-C is where futures begin.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
Hi, welcome back to More Sports and Les Levine. Les, Daryl, the Browns had a needed safety after Grant Delpit got injured. So today they went out and made a trade. They traded with the Jacksonville Jaguars. They traded their 2021 fifth-round pick and got Ronnie Harrison in return. Now, Ronnie Harrison, he's a safety, 23 years old, and is entering his third NFL season. He's recorded 103 tackles, 12 passes defended, 3 interceptions, 3 sacks in 28 career games, 22 starts. He won 2 national championships with Alabama in 2016 and 2018. Les, Daryl, Jacksonville appears to be cleaning house this year, so the Browns reap the rewards. So I want to ask you, what do you guys think of this trade?
Well, Daryl, that's a trade that had to be made, isn't it? Daryl, are you there?
When they lost Grant Delpit, that was a major, major loss for them, and they had to find a way to replace him. And so this was not only a trade they had to make, I think it was a smart trade. They give up pretty much next to nothing, 2021 fifth-round pick, no big deal there, and you get an established starter, young player that if he comes in and plays well, maybe you extend him and you set up Delpit and Harrison as your safety combo. But I thought it was a really good trade by the Browns.
Why was Harrison available at this point of the season?
Well, and that's a great question. I mean, it's tough figuring out what Jacksonville is doing right now. It's weird because they just signed Joe Schobert to that big contract. You know, they gave Joe Schobert over $40 million to go down there and play linebacker. And then now they're going through this process where they're starting to clean house. It reminds me of, 2016, 2017 with the Browns, where, they would bring in a guy in the offseason, and then they get to training camp and they start unloading players. So I don't know if Jacksonville's tanking. Whatever it is they're doing, the Browns get to reap the rewards here. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did as well. Did
the Browns make a mistake not re-signing on Schobert?
I don't think so, because just looking at what they did, they signed B.J. Goodson in the offseason, didn't give him a real big contract. It was a short deal there. They drafted Jacob Phillips, but it doesn't really look like that Andrew Berry and this staff is placing a premium at linebacker. They're going to run a 4-2-5 defense. So, the emphasis on linebacker isn't there. So I actually think it was smart for them to let him walk, especially considering some of the contracts they're going to have to start paying out here. Denzel Ward, Nick Chubb, Baker Mayfield, and they've already paid Myles Garrett.
Yeah. All right. Another deadline coming up tomorrow at 4, where they got to come up with their final roster. So they still have a few hours to play around. Let's look at what the roster looks like as far as the secondary is concerned, at least at this moment. There you see Denzel Ward, Greedy Williams. We don't know about the extent of that injury, do we, on Greedy?
No, and they won't say. And the longer he's nowhere to be seen, the more concerned I get about that shoulder injury. They could play with that roster spot and put him on injured reserve, so they're able to keep an extra corner that maybe they would end up cutting or trying to slide through to the practice squad. But longer.
What about Kevin Johnson? Just when you talk about the liver, that's kind of kind of scary. What do we know about him?
Well, the good news is Kevin's at least back in the building. He's on the field. He's doing some calisthenics on the side. I don't think he's ready to jump back and put the pads on or anything like that. But the fact that a couple of days or less than a week after suffering that lacerated liver less, he was back on the side doing some calisthenics, great sign there.
All right, continuing on in the secondary here, you've got Terrence Mitchell, Donovan Olumba, and M.J. Stewart. Then we move to the safeties, Carl Joseph. Now you add Ronnie Harrison to that mix, Andrew Sendejo, and Sheldrick Redwine. I'll tell you what, he's a guy you haven't heard much of, and all of a sudden you look at it and says, you know, if he can produce, that changes the whole outlook and makeup of that unit.
Yeah, and you know, Carl Joseph, I think, will end up being a starter. He's coming off foot surgery. They bounced him in and out throughout this camp list just to make sure he's not overdoing it. They did the same thing with Jarvis Landry. They've also done it with Odell Beckham Jr. But right now I've got Joseph and Harrison as my starting safeties. Sheldrick Redwine has made some plays in camp. Sendejo has made some plays in camp. Both of those players I think are intriguing, but I don't think that either one of them are ready to jump into the starting lineup, hence today's trade.
All right, so here's the linebackers. This has been a scary unit since the beginning. Mack Wilson, the good news about him is he's not going to be out as long as everybody thought he was. B.J. Goodson and Malcolm Smith. Then you got Sone Takitaki, Jacob Phillips, and Ty Davis rounding out the linebacker corps. Does that bother you as much as it does me?
Well, if they're only going to have two on the field, I think that they feel like they're going to get away with it. Now, I'll say this. Let's be honest about it. The Super Bowl champs to come out of the AFC North, and of course I'm referring to the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens, have always had impact play from the linebacking position. And I am of the belief that you need that. If you're going to win in this division, you need impact play from the linebackers, cover them tight ends as well as the running backs, and prevent those big explosive plays. I don't want linebackers that are just making plays 5, 10, 15 yards down the field. And we've seen a lot of that over the years last year in Cleveland at that position. Sione Takitaki had a fine training camp, but I don't know if he can play at an elite level. And that's part of the issue with this preseason or lack thereof, as well as camp. It's very difficult to get a true evaluation of the talent on this roster because, again, the view is limited at practice, and what they're doing at practice is also limited.
216-575-0403. You can email us during the show at reallesslevine@gmail.com. Daryl Ruiter is here. He's covering the Browns and the Indians for 92.3 The Fan. Does a terrific job. You can read him. What's the actual website where you're writing every day, Daryl?
923thefan.com.
Well, I should have known that.
Real easy.
923thefan.com. What is tough about that?
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
Just type in 923thefan.com. It will take you straight where you need to go. We actually redid the website. Well, I didn't redo the website. The company redid the website.
The people did it.
The people did it, yes. They redesigned the website, so it's an all-new 923thefan.com.
So even I can figure it out?
I'm very confident that you will be able to type in 923thefan.com with ease.
I got skills, but none of them involve that particular area. So, all right, 216-575-0403, Northeast Factory Direct, 3 locations and the website. You don't want to miss that. Find out about Alex's one-year guarantee at Northeast Factory Direct. Daryl Ruiter is with us. More Sports and Les Levine continues. No live show Monday because of the holiday. Bud Shaw with us on Tuesday. Then it'll be not Daryl, it'll be the other D-man. That's Dennis Manilog. That'll be on Wednesday. Mary Kay taking a couple of weeks off as she prepares for the season. She will be back in a couple of weeks. We are powered by cleveland.com.
Wow! Get Nature's Stone and never replace your garage flooring again. Act now for huge summer savings on our exclusive Nature's Blend Stone, as low as $2.99 a square foot plus installation. Only Nature's Stone eliminates cracked, uneven concrete, and Nature's Stone never peels like cheap paints and coatings. Safe, beautiful garage flooring that's always backed by Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor.
Wow, it's Nature's Stone.
There are tastes we remember,
Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just a mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Hi, welcome back to More Sports and Les Levine. Les, Daryl, Odell Beckham in his first 3 seasons in the NFL seemed to be on his way to having a gold jacket type career. Then the second 3 years in his NFL career happened, and things went a little bit differently. So Bill Barnwell of ESPN has listed Odell Beckham as one of his players to watch for the 2020 season. Here's what he had to say. Through the first 3 seasons of his career, Beckham racked up 4,122 receiving yards. He did this while missing 5 games over his first 2 seasons and catching passes from Eli Manning. Seasons 4 through 6 haven't been as generous for him. Stopped by a high ankle sprain in 2017 and slowed by a hernia last season, Beckham mustered only 2,389 yards over the past 3 years. Now, we have 3 years of evidence suggesting Beckham is a Hall of Famer to be, and 3 years suggesting that not so much. This season could be the tiebreaker. So Les, Daryl, between those first 3 years and the second 3 years, what kind of Odell Beckham do you think we're going to get in 2020?
All right, let me throw my 2 cents in first. I think that I'm on record as saying that that Baker Mayfield is going to have a strong comeback year, and if he does, one of the reasons would have to be Odell Beckham Jr. Daryl, he's one of the most interesting guys we've had with the Browns in so many years. You know, he's no trouble, or he hasn't been any trouble that I know of. But he is the center of attention at all times, sometimes looking for it, sometimes having it fall on him. I think it's I can't think of anybody who's had that kind of an impact, or an impact has had on him, than we've seen with Beckham, who again is not trouble, unless he is quietly in the locker room, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I think Odell's one of those guys that got a bad rap, being in that market in New York where you're just constantly under the microscope. The media there is a little different, more of a tabloid style type writing, especially with some of those back pages in the publications in New York. But I have not experienced or heard anything close to what Odell came to Cleveland described as. So I agree with you there, Les. I do think Baker Mayfield's poised for a bounce back year. I don't know that this Browns offense is centered around Odell Beckham Jr. And I am curious to see if the Browns start out slow and this offense is as well balanced as Kevin Stefanski says it's going to be, which means Odell's not getting 13 targets per game. I'm curious to see how happy Beckham's going to be with that.
It's a great point. But again, I think you'll agree with me. He hasn't been troubled yet, even though it seems to follow him. Something follows him. There's an aura about him that he gets followed, and not because he's doing anything wrong necessarily. Although he shows up with shoes and gloves and watches, that should be the biggest problem we have.
He's a superstar, no question about it. Has a superstar personality. He's a magnetic guy. Great teammate behind the scenes. Privately, his teammates would express appreciation for all the gifts he would shower them with. I don't find him to be the locker room cancer that he was described to be in New York, not by any stretch of the imagination. And he understood the media aspect of things, and he really made an effort, especially last year when things weren't going well, to bite his tongue, not to make waves, not to say anything inflammatory or that would rock the boat. the watches, the shoes, all that marketing stuff. That's just what he does. That comes with the territory
You
of
didn't
being
get
a
any?
superstar.
You didn't
No,
get any?
I was not on Odell Beckham Jr.'s Christmas
Okay.
wish list.
Well,
There was nothing at my seat.
I know who probably was. That would be BP and Pepper Pike. Hello, BP.
Hey, Les and Daryl, how you guys doing tonight?
Doing well. What's up with you?
Oh, well, first of all, I want to say thanks to Daryl. He does a great job every day covering the Browns, and I just appreciate, all the great work. I mean, I have to say, he's, in my eyes, he's the number one Browns reporter in the city. So thank you again for everything you do. Seriously.
Checks in the mail.
Even this year. I'm sorry?
Checks in the mail, BP.
No, but really, even this year with no training camp, you can't, not that much intel on the Browns. I still feel like, you brought a lot of sort of data from the camp, how the guys are looking. But I'm ecstatic today because I've been saying for weeks, ever since, Delpit got hurt and even, with the linebacking core, they need to go out and get some veterans in here from some bad teams, and they did it. So they brought in Ronnie Harrison. I don't know him. I've never seen the guy play it down, but he's a starter in the NFL. I want to know if you know anything about that. What do you think of it? I love it. I'm just looking, he started 22 out of the last 26 games. He's 6'3", 200 pounds, from Alabama. I mean, on paper, this guy looks like, this is a great acquisition. And I also want to know if you think the Browns can find a guy like this for linebacker. Why not? Why stop here? Maybe ask Jacksonville for somebody else. But
Hey, Daryl, BP is looking for a guy with a team that doesn't win, and then you find out the guy you get is the reason they didn't win.
Yeah, and that's kind of part of the rub. But, here's the thing on Harrison. He's an emerging starter. Started 14 games last year. I guess you could call it his breakout season. He didn't play all that much or contribute all that much his first couple of years. But, last year, 70 tackles, which was ranked second on the team, broke up 9 passes, also ranked second on the team. I think he had a couple of interceptions and a fumble recovery as well. So, last year was his big I can play at this level year. This year with him coming in, and he's going to get playing time with the Browns, so he's going to get an opportunity here to show that he can be an every down starting safety in the National Football League. And hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with picking a few good apples off a rotting tree elsewhere in the National Football League. It's happened around the league, and again, it was nice to see Andrew Berry be a little opportunistic here.
Hey, BP, I know you're a big Cavs fan. What are you thinking with what the Indians are doing these days, and hopefully the start of the season with the Browns? Are you excited about either one more than the other?
you mean how do I feel about the Indians and Browns versus the Cavs, or
no, just Indians versus. No, I'm putting off the Cavs for a while here.
Oh,
but
I got you.
Indians
I'm
and Browns.
very excited about the Indians. I kind of wish they, if they had to trade Clevenger, I was hoping they got back sort of like a professional hitter, not like, prospects and young guys like this Josh Naylor. So I was hoping like they got, this guy, or picked up Starling Marte. I feel this team can go a long way, but they need one more bat, like a real, somebody you can count on.
All right. Thanks so much, BP. Have a great holiday weekend.
You too, guys.
We'll
Take
talk
care.
to you soon. So, Daryl, going back to Odell Beckham, what do you think? Good year, bad year, medium year?
He's healthy. This offense has I think the explosiveness built into it. So I don't think he had a bad year last year. I might be in the minority less, but while he might not have met his standards last year, he still caught over 70 passes for over 1,000 yards. Since when is that a bad season?
No,
so
not like we have them every year or two.
Right, and the Browns, for the first time in their franchise history, 2 1,000-yard receivers in the same season. I think Odell's going to bounce back this year and have a more, customary Odell Beckham Jr. season.
If you're a defensive coordinator getting ready to face the Browns this weekend, what's your number 1 and 2 priorities? Stop the run, stop the pass, stop the new line? What do you want to stop if you're a coordinator?
Head to church and start praying first and foremost. Then, they're loaded everywhere, and it's not just that it's one guy less that you have to worry about. It's double. You got 2 tight ends to worry about in Austin Hooper and David Njoku. Then you got this other kid that showed up in training camp, and we'll see what he turns into. You look in the backfield, you got two potential rushing champions there in Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Then you look out wide, and you got two Pro Bowlers in Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry. I don't know how you stop that. It's a great problem to have. I think that the Browns, from a talent perspective, it could be argued they have the second best stock of offensive talent behind the defending Super Bowl champion Chiefs.
216-575-0403. Daryl Ruiter with us. You can contact him at that number or email us during the show at reallesslevine@gmail.com. We've been talking about the walk, the virtual walk for Parkinson's disease, which is coming up. It's actually coming up next week on Sunday the 13th, but we'll have, for my team, we're going to meet on this coming Sunday, and that's the 5th, and we're going to do it at 10 o'clock in the morning. We're actually saying 9:45, but you got till 10, and that's at Acacia, the preserves on at Cedar Road at Richmond. Bring your dog, bring some fun, and we'll, for people who've been wondering about how this show goes on, and you've wanted the opportunity to meet those of us on the show, this is a good idea and a good chance to do just that. And thank you so much to all of you people who have contributed money. We were looking for $2 and $5 and $8 and $10 donations, and we did better than that, and we appreciate it so much. It goes to a great cause. More Sports and Les Levine continues in a moment, powered by cleveland.com.
We're living in uncertain times, but you don't have to put your future on hold. At Tri-C, you can move ahead while staying safe and saving money. The majority of fall classes will take place online, but we've added a variety of formats to meet your learning needs, and we've taken many steps to keep you safe on campus. Whether you're ready to get started or your four-year plans have changed, check out Tri-C's programs and resources, because Tri-C is where futures begin.
Well, hello, everyone. Let me tell you a little bit about Browns Football Insider. For only $3.99 a month, you can get text sent right to your phone each day from me, Dan Lobby, Scott Pasco, and Ellis Williams. In addition to that, you'll receive a Football Insider newsletter every day with special things from us, things that you won't see anywhere else on the site. You'll get breaking news, analysis, features, film breakdown, and things like that. Texting us directly gives you a great chance to cut through the clutter of Facebook, Twitter, other social media, and avoid the trolls. Also, it's the only way to get your questions on the Orange and Brown Talk podcast. So why should you sign up? Try a 14-day free trial. You can cancel at any time. All it takes is one text, but you won't want to cancel. We have hundreds of subscribers join us over the last year. They love it and have stayed with us. We're seeing the Football Insider community grow every week. And it's only $3.99 a month, which is less than 14 cents a day. What I like most about Football Insider is the opportunity to connect with you one-on-one and really communicate with you. So how can you become a Football Insider? You can click on cleveland.com/Browns, the blue banner at the top of the page. Or easier yet, text me at 216-208-3965. Again, that's 216-208-3965.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
here, let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant. Whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes Smiley One Heating and Cooling. Find them at smiley1.com.
I love returning kicks and punts. I just want to be the best person I can be for the team, and that's getting a chunk yard on punt return or getting a chunk yardage on kick return. That's what I want to do.
Thanks, Daryl. Next up is Tony Grossi.
Hello, Donovan. Coach Stefanski and today Denzel Ward both commented about your versatility, your ability to play inside and outside. It's a little unusual for a first-time rookie in the NFL receiver. Do you find that not a challenge, or have you conquered it as a challenge?
I've just been trying to work on it, just been trying to be available, whether that's, inside positions or outside positions or, kickoff, punt return, or on special teams, just trying to be available, trying to, add value.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tony. Scott Petrick.
Hey, Donovan. I know you had developed a relationship with Jarvis and OBJ before you got here, but what's it like being around them every day?
You're getting a chance to look at, some real pros, some guys who've done it for a long time, guys who, have answers to a lot of things that, maybe other veterans wouldn't have answers to. Just getting a chance to see them, with their preparations for practice and, prepping and, everything that they do outside of, the facility. It's just been inspiring.
I think Mary Kay, he's gotten better every day. He came out here and I can tell you just his effort has grown immensely from day 1 to day 13, whatever it was. We're putting a lot on his plate. Coach O'Shea coaches those guys hard, and he hasn't backed down one bit. We've had him play multiple positions. He's a rookie. He's going to has made and will make rookie mistakes like the rest of them, but I've been pretty pleased with how he's pushed through that.
Daryl Ruiter is with us. Daryl, I've been talking, we've all been talking about the special teams and all. Should be a good punting unit, should be a good field goal unit. But other than a couple of years, the Browns have struggled as far as returning kicks are concerned. And is that drought over with now? I mean, you go from a guy who could be a Hall of Famer to what we've had in recent years.
Yeah, they really transformed, or tried to transform, rather, their return game this offseason. They signed JoJo Natson, who might be the fastest guy I've ever seen on a football field. Also one of the smallest, but man, is he fast. And as he said the other day, you can't hit what you can't catch. And then of course,
I hope he wasn't talking about a football as a wide receiver.
Yeah. And then they bring in Donovan Peoples-Jones. They draft him, I think it was in the 6th round, out of Michigan, and we saw up there what he was able to do in the return game. So that was an area that they prioritized this offseason, where they felt they absolutely needed to upgrade. And I think that they did. I think they accomplished that. And if both of those players can stay healthy, I'm not saying that they're going to be able to do what Josh Cribbs was able to do for this team, but the return game will be vastly improved.
You got to find some way to get something that Josh Cribbs did. It's 1/4 of the game, 1/3, 1/4 of the game.
Well, it sets up your field position and
absolutely
everything, yeah.
And if nothing else, just stay away from the penalties on kick returns. Final roster projection for wide receiver: Odell Beckham Jr., Rashad Higgins, Hodge, as well as Jarvis Landry, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and JoJo Natson, who, if nothing else, has a phenomenal name for a football player.
He does. Like I said, he is one of the fastest that I've seen. What I'm interested to see, Les, is how many receivers they keep. Do they keep the traditional 6, or because of the incorporation of the fullback, Andy Janovich, do they have to sacrifice an extra receiver? And again, this is not an offense dependent upon wide receivers. It is a 2 tight end, use the fullback, multiple running back, and then when you need to, stretch the field a bit, you throw it deep to your big receiver. So it wouldn't shock me if Andrew Berry tried to get away with 5 receivers out of the gate here.
I want to go back for a minute to Smiley One. Right now, they're making it easy to invest in a new heating or cooling comfort system without breaking your budget. For a limited time, take advantage of the special financing for 36 months on select Bryant high-efficiency equipment. They can make it easy for your family to stay comfortable all year long. Call Smiley One for further details. Northeast Factory Direct, they've got everything you're going to need, and they've got it at a lower price than you're going to find anywhere. Check out the website and see what I'm talking about. That's northeastfactorydirect.com. Daryl Ruiter and I return in a moment or two. We are powered by cleveland.com.
Never replace your basement flooring again. Act now for huge summer savings on our exclusive Nature's Pearl Stone, as low as $2.99 a square foot plus installation. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today. It's not just a floor.
Wow, it's Nature's Stone. When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Presque Isle Downs and Casino has sports betting. Use one of our 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet and watch your favorite games on one of our many HD televisions or visit our sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downs and Casino.
Yeah, the way we're looking at tomorrow, Nate, is it's a dress rehearsal in the stadium, and I mean that literally in terms of they're going to be in their uniforms, the coaches are going to be dressed in their game attire. We're going to put headsets on, the coaches will be up in the booth, and it's going to be a crisp, quick practice. So it's not going to be a scrimmage. It's not going to be something where we're going to play the young guys for an hour to see what we have, because the truth is this whole camp has been an evaluation of those young guys. They get evaluated in their individual period. They get evaluated in the classroom. So it's way more of a dress rehearsal. The guys need to go through what pregame warm-up looks like. Things like that is how we're viewing tomorrow's practice.
Understanding you have today's session and then you've got tomorrow night. Just overall, though, do you feel like you accomplished what you set out to accomplish during this camp and this very odd preseason leading up?
Yeah, I do. I think the credit goes to the coaches, to our staff. We put together a plan. We adjusted, we adapted. When I can't tell you how many times we've changed the schedule on the players and the coaches. And again, it's been a resilient bunch. So I feel like we've done the things that we set out to do, and now we just got to go play football. Yeah, the way we're looking at tomorrow, Nate, is it's a dress rehearsal in the stadium, and I mean that literally in terms of.
Daryl, do you notice any signs of pressure hitting him as from day one when you first met with him until you're meeting with him now, just a couple of days before the opener?
Well, I don't know if the beard's got a little extra salt in it or not, but this is probably the worst year to be a first-year head coach in the National Football League. And that's no disrespect to Kevin. I think that he has done as admirable a job as you could expect with everything that was thrown at him in trying to get the team ready. It's going to be an uphill battle right from the get-go here. But again, I think that the coach Stefanski's done a great job being flexible and handling what has been very difficult.
Isn't that something when you think about a new coach coming in and with the years of experience, especially in the same organization, you say, well, he's prepared for everything. No, he's not. He's not prepared for what's happened here in 2020.
Yeah, I mean, of all the things that have happened to the Cleveland Browns since 1999, and the list is long yet distinguished, none of them very good. A global pandemic disrupting what was supposed to be their quantum leap forward to get back to the playoffs is just I don't know. Do we add that to the curse of Art Modell?
No, it's just one quicker step to get to Canton in the Hall of Fame.
It's unbelievable. And I do think that Kevin Stefanski's a good football coach, Les. I do. Remains to be seen if he's a good head coach in the National Football League. That will be judged by the wins and losses.
There is no guarantee you can pop from one to the next. Now, you've seen as many examples otherwise than you've seen that it has happened. Let's go to Dan, who's in Hubbard, who I'm sure is also a good football coach. Hi, Dan.
Hi, how you guys doing?
Good.
Good questions. Never got to speak to Daryl before. Hello, Daryl.
Hey, Dan. How are you?
Good. Two quick questions, one Tribe, one Browns. First question is, how long do you think Stefanski will ride with Mayfield if he takes the pipe right away? And will he put Keenum in, seeing he has a background with him?
Don't do that to us.
Well, I'm just asking because, we've got a backup now that the head coach got a history with.
Well, my first reaction to that is it depends on what he did or what happened to make things get to that position where you'd have to make that move. How much is on him? How much is a coach's situation? There's a whole bunch of reasons why that decision could have to be made, and I just hope it doesn't come to fruition.
My reaction to that is what did Baker
go ahead, Daryl.
My reaction is what happened to Baker? What did he injure? Because I think that's what, and no one wants to see that. I think that's what's they're committed to Baker Mayfield. Case Keenum has been brought in to mature him a little bit. He's the Crash Davis on the roster. They're paying him well to do it. But also, if something happens to Baker, Keenum can step in and win football games.
What else, Dan?
Well, my one statement on Baker Mayfield is, at least this year, I'm not turning on TV and watching Baker Mayfield going in and getting his hair cut and his beard trimmed with his dog and his fiancée. I mean, I think
it's
he
his
got
wife
more
now.
commercials than anybody, huh?
It's his wife now.
Yeah, I know that, but when he did that show last year, he wasn't. And I think he did more of that than he did football. My second part of this question for him is, it seems like that any news about Tito has fallen off the radar. We don't see anything about him the last week or so in the press, anything on his condition or where it's at. Do you guys think he'll be back, and what do you hear anything on how he is?
Well, I hate to speculate on illness or sickness or anything like that, so I'm going to stay away from that. Daryl, you're closer to the team anyway.
Yeah, I'll just say that there's a mutual respect there as far as Tito's situation, his health. There's an unwritten rule that even when Tito revealed some of the specifics around his particular condition, I chose not to report them because I didn't feel that was the public's business. But there is a little respect in the media when it comes to health and privacy that you don't always reveal specifics, what's going on. Hopefully Terry gets well. We do know he's had a lot of surgery since April. That was something that was news to me. And so fingers crossed he's able to make a speedy recovery with what
Maybe
he's
it's just a case of Indian fever.
Oh, gosh. He's in my prayers.
Yeah, all of us. Yeah, let's remember that, what this is all about. You're absolutely correct.
Yes, I agree.
He's been the perfect guy to manage this team. And you know it when you see some of these newer managers coming out around the league, and you know how much control that Francona has, and we wish him nothing but well.
Well, he's definitely a class act. One more thing. Good luck on your walk. I know you're having that thing. I would love to be there. My health won't let that happen, but I hope it goes well. I finally got figured out how to make my donation go in, and it went in.
So. I was going to say you're allowed to do that even if you don't show up, but
I already did that. I did that when I asked you before, but I'd love to show up and finally get to meet you. But I'm on oxygen. I ain't going to work too well.
Well, you take care of yourself. We'll worry about me next year.
Good luck.
Okay, good to talk to you,
Take care.
Dan
Nice
and Hubbard.
meeting you, Daryl. Bye.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Guys like that who watch this show and respond to it. It's pretty cool. No. You got a couple of, I think we need to take a break, which we will do. We'll come back one more time with Daryl Ruiter. We'll do that right here exclusively, as we are, of course, powered by cleveland.com.
Wow! Get Nature Stone and never replace your garage flooring again. Act now for huge summer savings on our
I should have gone to the
Nature's Blend
Facebook,
Stone,
right?
as low as $2.99 a square foot plus installation. Only Nature Stone eliminates cracked, uneven concrete, and Nature Stone never peels like cheap paints and coatings. Safe, beautiful garage flooring that's always backed by Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor.
Wow, it's Nature Stone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget, Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
Tomorrow night, the weekend winter edition, it'll be Dan Lobby of cleveland.com joining Dave Bacon with Bacon Bits. That'll be tomorrow night. And I'll be back. No live show on Monday because of the holiday, and I'll be back on Tuesday with Bud Shaw. And you can watch us live from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And throughout the day and night, you can archive us all day long and all night long on cleveland.com. Let's take a look at our Facebook question of the day. What team excites you more right now, the Browns or the Indians? Andy Mees says the Indians. They are currently in the driver's seat. I don't know about that. In the AL Central Division, and they have a young, exciting starting rotation that'll be we'll have and we'll have them for years to come. The Browns haven't given me such excitement over those past 20-plus years. They still have to prove it. I will believe it when I see it from the Browns. Glenn Berger says the Indians. They're in a tight race with the White Sox and Twins. Even if this is a truncated season, the Indians have an excellent pitching staff that should get even better. The Browns have disappointed me every year since 1999. I'll follow the Browns, but we'll need much more of some balance that will help end another losing season. I understand it completely. You know what I did? You know, I was talking about in the Voice of Truth and Reason, talking about scoreboard watching. 4 out of the last 7 games are going to be at home against the White Sox. I just wish it was a regular season that way to see, 35, 40,000 people day in and day out watching the Indians and White Sox battle for whatever they're battling for. But it's not going to happen.
Yeah, there's nothing better than a sold-out ballpark in late September and early October through the playoffs.
All right, got about a minute or two. Anything that with the Indians and the Browns that you left off? You got a shot at it right now.
Well, I think the Indians got a great shot to go ahead and run the table and win this division outright and get themselves into the playoffs. They're a playoff team regardless if they don't win the division. As far as the Browns go, I'm in a wait-and-see approach too with them. I wish I could tell people what to expect, but I don't know what to expect, Les.
No, you don't. None of us do. But isn't there some sense of excitement or that things are going to get better? Do you have? I have that sense things are going to be better.
I thought Nick Chubb said it real well today, Les, when he mentioned that, the fact that we're actually able to come in here every day, go to work, play, practice, etc., that's a win. And considering everything that has happened in this country and with the pandemic that has gone, the fact that the Cleveland Browns and the rest of the National Football League is going to take the field, that in and of itself is a win. And then maybe that'll temper some of the angst and some of the frustration that fans have with the team, and understandably so. But it would be nice if the Browns could really have themselves a great year in what has been some tough times.
Great job by Daryl Ruiter from 92.3 The Fan. You can follow him at 923thefan.com. How'd I do?
Aced it.
Daryl, have a great holiday weekend. Enjoy covering the Browns. It's going to be fun, I think. That'll do it for us. Don't forget, tomorrow night, Dave Bacon will have Dan Lobby with him on the weekend edition. No show on Monday. I'll be back on Tuesday with Bud Shaw. Of all the shows I've ever done, this was the most recent.